Welcome back, coin enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of United Kingdom sixpence coins and uncovering the top 5 most valuable pieces, considering different years, mint marks, and conditions. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a newcomer curious about rare coins, this guide will give you a detailed look at what makes certain sixpences highly sought after and why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Let's get started. First, the United Kingdom sixpence dated 1956, examined specifically in fine condition. Often remembered for its small size but big cultural significance, the sixpence has long fascinated collectors around the world. In this video, we will explore why the 1956 sixpence continues to attract attention, how rare it truly is in different conditions, and most importantly, how much it can fetch at auction today in US dollars. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who has just discovered an old coin in a drawer, this detailed guide will help you understand its real value. The sixpence has a rich history in British coinage, dating back to the reign of Edward VI in the 16th century. By the time the 1956 sixpence was minted, the coin had already become a familiar part of everyday life in the United Kingdom. Issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the 1956 sixpence represents an important transitional era in British history, just a few years after the Queen's accession to the throne in 1952. Britain was still recovering from World War II, and coinage played a vital role in daily commerce. The Royal Mint produced millions of sixpence coins for circulation, but many were heavily used, making higher-grade survivors increasingly desirable decades later. The 1956 UK sixpence is composed of cupronickel, a change from earlier silver issues that ended in 1946. On the obverse, the coin features the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This youthful and elegant portrait is highly admired by collectors and adds historical charm to the coin. The reverse showcases a crowned wreath made up of oak leaves, symbolizing strength and tradition, with the denomination sixpence and the year 1956 clearly displayed. In fine condition, details such as the Queen's hair, facial features, and the wreath's leaves remain visible, though lightly worn, making the coin attractive without appearing overly circulated. While the 1956 sixpence is not considered extremely rare in absolute terms, its scarcity increases significantly depending on condition. In damaged, heavily worn, or corroded condition, the coin holds minimal collector value and is often sought only as a placeholder in date sets. However, even damaged examples can attract beginner collectors interested in completing a pre-decimal collection. Collector demand rises sharply for coins that avoid major issues like deep scratches, bent edges, or environmental damage. As more low-quality examples disappear over time, even modestly preserved coins gain importance, driving gradual long-term demand. When it comes to auction market value, the 1956 sixpence in fine condition typically sells within a modest but respectable range. In today's market, fine condition examples often sell for approximately $434,000 depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and auction competition. Coins graded as very fine or extremely fine can reach higher prices, sometimes ranging from $314,000, especially when certified by reputable grading services. While it may not be a high-dollar rarity, its affordability makes it popular, and consistent demand helps maintain stable auction prices year after year. For collectors interested in the 1956 sixpence, condition should always be your top priority. Look for coins with clear lettering, visible details on the Queen's portrait, and minimal surface damage. Avoid cleaning coins, as improper cleaning can significantly reduce their value. Storing the coin in a protective holder or capsule will help preserve its condition and prevent further wear. If possible, consider purchasing coins from reputable dealers or auctions with clear photos and descriptions. Over time, building a small collection of Elizabeth II-era pre-decimal coins can be both enjoyable and historically rewarding. In conclusion, the United Kingdom sixpence of 1956 in fine condition may be a small coin, but it carries a big story. From its post-war historical context to its elegant design and steady collector demand, it remains a cherished piece of British numismatic history. While it may not make you rich overnight, its consistent auction value in dollars and enduring popularity make it a worthwhile addition to any collection. If you enjoy coins that blend history, beauty, and affordability, the 1956 sixpence is certainly one to appreciate. Next up, the United Kingdom sixpence dated 1964, specifically in circulated condition. Often remembered for its distinctive size, silver-like shine, and strong cultural presence, the sixpence holds a special place in British monetary history. While many people assume that circulated coins are common and low in value, the truth is far more interesting. In this video, we'll explore the history, features, rarity, collector demand, and current auction market value in US dollars, helping you understand why even a worn 1964 sixpence can still attract serious interest today. The sixpence has a long and fascinating history in the United Kingdom, first introduced in the 16th century during the reign of Edward VI. By the time we reach 1964, the coin was nearing the end of its official life as a circulating denomination. This was just a few years before decimalisation in 1971, when Britain transitioned to a new currency system. The 1964 sixpence was struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period marked by modernisation, cultural change, and economic transition. Although sixpence coins continued to circulate for several years after 1964, this date represents one of the later pre-decimal issues, making it historically significant. Many examples entered heavy circulation, which explains why high-grade specimens are harder to find today. The United Kingdom sixpence of 1964 features a classic and instantly recognisable design. On the obverse, the coin displays the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, surrounded by the Latin inscription identifying her as Queen. The reverse features a crowned monogram composed of interlaced letters, symbolizing royal authority and tradition. Measuring approximately 19.41 mm in diameter, the coin is smaller than many modern denominations but has a solid, distinctive feel. By 1964, sixpence coins were struck in cupronickel rather than silver, which marked a significant change from earlier issues. Despite this, many collectors still associate the sixpence with Britain's silver coinage era, adding to its nostalgic appeal. In circulated or even damaged condition, the 1964 sixpence is not considered extremely rare in terms of mintage numbers. However, rarity in coin collecting isn't determined by age alone, it's about survival in collectible condition. Most 1964 sixpence coins were used daily in commerce, resulting in worn surfaces, softened details, scratches, and edge damage. While heavily damaged examples are common, collectors still seek circulated coins for date completion, educational collections, and historical displays. Interestingly, there is steady demand for well-worn sixpence coins because they represent everyday life in mid-20th century Britain. Even coins with noticeable wear can attract interest if the date and details remain readable. When it comes to auction market value, the 1964 UK sixpence in circulated condition generally sells for modest but consistent prices. In average circulated condition, these coins typically fetch $433,000 depending on eye appeal and remaining detail. Better circulated examples with sharper features may sell for $431,000 at online auctions. Coins with unusual characteristics such as minting errors, off-center strikes, or exceptional toning can exceed these ranges. While damaged coins with heavy corrosion or bending are usually worth less, even those can sell for $321,000 to bulk buyers or beginner collectors. Although it's not a high-dollar coin, its steady market presence reflects ongoing collector interest. If you own or plan to collect a 1964 sixpence, there are several important tips to keep in mind. First, always examine the coin under good lighting to assess wear, surface damage, and clarity of the date. Avoid cleaning the coin, as improper cleaning can significantly reduce its value. Storage is also crucial. Keep the coin in a protective holder or coin flip to prevent further damage. If you're buying, compare multiple listings to understand fair pricing, and pay attention to seller photos and descriptions. For long-term collectors, pairing the 1964 sixpence with earlier silver issues or later pre-decimal coins can add depth and storytelling value to your collection. In conclusion, the United Kingdom sixpence of 1964 in circulated condition may not be a fortune-making coin, but it is undeniably rich in history, charm, and collector appeal. As one of the final issues before Britain's decimal transformation, it represents the closing chapter of a centuries-old monetary tradition. Its affordable auction prices make it accessible to beginners, while its historical significance keeps seasoned collectors interested. Whether you find one in an old collection, purchase it at auction, or inherit it from family, the 1964 sixpence remains a meaningful piece of British numismatic heritage. If you enjoy learning about classic coins like this, next up the United Kingdom sixpence dated 1955, examined specifically in very fine condition. While this coin may not always command headline-grabbing prices, its historical importance, silver content, and steady collector demand make it a fascinating and worthwhile piece to explore. In this video, we'll uncover its background, unique design elements, rarity in different conditions, and most importantly, its current auction market value in US dollars. The 1955 sixpence was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait began appearing on British coinage in 1953. This period marked a time of post-war recovery and modernization in the United Kingdom. The sixpence had already been in circulation for centuries by this point, traditionally known as the tanner, and it played a key role in everyday British commerce. In 1955, the coin was still struck in .500 silver, a composition that would later be reduced and eventually eliminated in British circulating coins. This makes the 1955 sixpence part of the final era of silver coinage in the UK, adding to its historical appeal. Visually, the 1955 sixpence is rich in symbolism and classic British design. The obverse features the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, showing the Queen crowned with a laurel wreath. In very fine condition, facial features, hair details, and lettering remain clear, though some wear is visible on the highest points. The reverse displays the traditional royal cipher ER topped with a crown, surrounded by the date. The coin measures approximately 19.4 mm in diameter and weighs about 2.83 grams. Its silver content gives it both intrinsic metal value and aesthetic appeal, especially when light toning has developed over time. From a mintage perspective, the 1955 sixpence is not extremely rare, as millions were produced for circulation. However, survival rates in higher grades are much lower, as most examples saw heavy everyday use. In damaged or heavily worn condition, the coin is common and usually valued close to its silver melt value. Despite this, there is still collector interest, especially from beginners or those assembling date runs of Elizabeth II pre-decimal coinage. Even damaged examples are often saved rather than discarded, due to their silver composition and historical relevance. In today's auction and collector market, a 1955 UK sixpence in very fine condition typically sells for approximately $431,000 depending on eye appeal, toning, and silver market fluctuations. Coins with sharper details, attractive natural toning, or provenance from reputable collections may achieve slightly higher prices. In contrast, heavily worn or damaged examples may sell closer to $214,000, while examples graded extremely fine or uncirculated can reach $321,000 or more at auction. While not a high-value rarity, the 1955 sixpence remains a steady and reliable collectible. For collectors interested in this coin, condition is key. When buying a very fine example, look for clear date numerals, readable legends, and visible detail in the Queen's hair and the crown on the reverse. Be cautious of over-cleaned coins, as harsh cleaning can significantly reduce collector value. Storage is also important. Keeping silver coins in protective holders helps prevent tarnish and environmental damage. For long-term value, consider building a complete Elizabeth II silver sixpence set, as complete collections often attract stronger demand than individual coins. In conclusion, the United Kingdom sixpence of 1955 in very fine condition is a coin that beautifully blends history, silver content, and classic design. While it may not be among the most expensive British coins, its consistent auction value, accessibility, and connection to a pivotal era in UK history make it a meaningful addition to any collection. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your collecting journey, the 1955 sixpence stands as a small but significant reminder of Britain's pre-decimal past. Next up, the United Kingdom sixpence from 1958, specifically focusing on coins in bad or heavily circulated condition. While the coin might not look like much at first glance, worn, scratched, and faded, there's more than meets the eye when it comes to rarity and value. Even in less than perfect condition, this coin can spark interest among collectors, especially those looking to complete historical sets or explore the unique characteristics of mid-20th century British currency. In this video, we'll explore the history of the coin, its unique features, why collectors still prize it despite its condition, its current market value in dollars, and practical tips for collectors. The United Kingdom sixpence has a rich history, dating back to the 16th century during the reign of Edward VI. By the time the 1958 sixpence was minted, the coin had undergone several design changes, reflecting shifts in monarchy, artistic style, and metallurgy. The 1958 sixpence features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, who ascended the throne in 1952, marking it as part of the early modern era of British coinage. Historically, the sixpence was valued at half a shilling or 1/40th of a pound sterling, making it a commonly used coin in everyday transactions. By the late 1950s, coins like this were integral to daily life, used for everything from purchasing groceries to paying for public transportation. Over time, as decimalization approached in the 1970s, these coins gradually became collectibles rather than circulating currency. The 1958 sixpence is distinctive for several reasons. On the obverse, it features a youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Mary Gillick, which captures the Queen in fine detail and gives the coin a classic and elegant look. The reverse showcases a crowned Tudor rose, symbolizing England and reflecting the country's deep historical roots. The coin is made from 50% silver, a feature that distinguishes it from later base metal sixpences and gives it intrinsic value beyond its numismatic appeal. Even when worn or damaged, the coin's silver content adds a tangible weight to its allure. Its small size, elegant design, and historical significance make it a fascinating piece, even for collectors who prefer pristine coins, and its design is emblematic of post-war British coinage aesthetics. You might wonder, why would a damaged coin hold any value? Surprisingly, the 1958 sixpence in poor condition still draws collector interest. There are several factors contributing to this. First, surviving examples from this year in any condition are not exceedingly common, as many coins were lost, melted down, or simply discarded over decades of circulation. Second, for collectors trying to complete a full-date set of Elizabeth II sixpences, even a heavily worn or damaged 1958 coin can be essential. Additionally, some collectors specialize in coins showing historical wear, as these coins tell the story of everyday life in mid-20th century Britain. The patina, scratches, and rounded edges all serve as reminders that this coin was once in the hands of everyday citizens, giving it a unique historical character. When it comes to valuation, condition plays a crucial role. A 1958 sixpence in mint or uncirculated condition can fetch significant amounts, sometimes hundreds of dollars depending on the auction and buyer. For coins in bad condition, however, the value drops but does not disappear entirely. Currently, a 1958 sixpence in heavily worn or damaged condition typically sells in the range of $123,000 at auction, depending on factors like legibility of the date, overall corrosion, and market demand. Rarely, if a damaged coin has some unique die error or unusual strike, it might attract more attention and exceed this general price range. Understanding this helps collectors make informed decisions, especially when considering coins for investment versus historical interest. If you're interested in collecting 1958 sixpences or other similar coins, here are a few tips. First, always verify the authenticity of the coin, particularly when purchasing online or from less established sellers. Second, pay attention to key details like date legibility, silver content, and any unusual markings, even on worn coins, as these can impact value. Third, consider the historical story behind the coin. Sometimes a coin in bad condition can be more interesting than a pristine one due to its journey through history. Lastly, keep a careful record of purchases, including photos and descriptions, which can help when trading or selling in the future. In summary, the United Kingdom sixpence from 1958, even in bad condition, remains a fascinating and collectible coin. Its rich history, unique design, silver content, and role in mid-20th century Britain make it more than just a worn piece of metal. Collectors value these coins for their rarity, historical significance, and the challenge they present in completing a full-date set. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, this coin offers insight into British history, the evolution of currency, and the enduring appeal of numismatics. Next up, the United Kingdom sixpence from 1954, specifically in fine condition. This small yet historically significant coin has captured the attention of collectors around the world, not only because of its unique design and historical context, but also due to its rarity and the impressive auction values it can achieve in today's market. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, understanding the story behind this coin, its distinct features, and its market demand can make a big difference in appreciating its true value. So, let's explore the history, rarity, and everything that makes the 1954 sixpence a must-have for collectors. The sixpence coin has a long-standing tradition in British currency, dating back to the 16th century. By 1954, the United Kingdom had seen several changes in monarchs, coinage designs, and minting practices. The 1954 sixpence was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period that marked the early years of her long and historic reign. This coin was made of cupro-nickel, following the 1947 shift away from silver coins, and it served as an essential part of everyday transactions, representing 6 pennies or half a shilling. While it was a commonly circulated denomination, certain issues and years, like 1954, are now highly prized among collectors due to their limited survival in high-grade conditions. The coin carries the regal effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, symbolizing continuity and the beginning of modern British coinage, while the reverse showcases a crowned wreath encircling the denomination, reflecting traditional British artistry. The 1954 sixpence is particularly notable for several features. Firstly, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, is widely regarded for its elegance and simplicity. Unlike earlier portraits, this depiction emphasizes a youthful and refined queen, which was both modern for its time and instantly recognizable. On the reverse, the coin displays a crown atop a floral wreath encircling the number 6, a design that balances symbolism with artistry. The lettering, mint marks, and fine detailing of the wreath are all factors that collectors look for when assessing condition. Even in fine condition, which shows light wear but preserves most of the design elements, these features remain clear and distinguishable, making the coin aesthetically pleasing as well as historically significant. While mint and uncirculated examples of the 1954 sixpence are rare and highly sought after, even coins in less than perfect condition have their own collector appeal. Damaged or heavily circulated coins from this year are uncommon because many were lost, melted down, or worn out over time. Collectors often seek these pieces to complete sets or to own a piece of mid-20th century British history, even if the coin isn't pristine. The rarity in fine and damaged conditions alike contributes to a steady demand in the numismatic market, making it a versatile coin for both serious collectors and casual hobbyists. Additionally, certain nuances such as slight variations in the lettering or minor die errors can increase interest and value. Even in coins that show noticeable wear days of 2025, the market value of a 1954 sixpence in fine condition can vary depending on the auction house, provenance, and buyer interest. Typically, these coins can sell anywhere from $421,000 in standard fine condition, though particularly well-preserved or historically significant pieces may command higher prices. Coins with minor damage or noticeable circulation may still attract collectors willing to pay $314,000, demonstrating the strong base demand for this issue. Prices can fluctuate depending on rarity trends, economic conditions, and the visibility of the coin in auctions or online marketplaces, but overall, the 1954 sixpence maintains a solid presence in the collector market, making it an accessible yet valuable addition to any collection. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1954 sixpence, there are a few key tips to keep in mind. Firstly, always assess the condition carefully. Even subtle differences in wear can significantly affect value. Look for coins with clear lettering, a discernible portrait, and minimal surface scratches. Secondly, verify the authenticity of the coin, especially when purchasing from online marketplaces or secondary dealers. Thirdly, consider joining numismatic societies or attending local coin shows, as these venues often provide better access to rare coins and expert advice. Finally, be patient. Prices can vary widely, and the right piece at the right price may take time to find, but the investment in knowledge and careful acquisition is well worth it for long-term enjoyment and potential appreciation. In conclusion, the United Kingdom sixpence from 1954 in fine condition is more than just a small coin. It is a tangible piece of British history. Its unique design, the early Elizabeth II portrait, and its enduring presence in the collector market make it an essential coin for anyone interested in mid-20th century numismatics. Whether you are drawn to it for historical significance, aesthetic appeal, or potential market value, this sixpence remains a fascinating and collectible piece. Remember, coins like this serve as a bridge between history and the present, connecting collectors with the stories and artistry of the past. If you're building a collection or simply exploring British coins, the 1954 sixpence is definitely worth a closer look. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have your own 1954 sixpence, and share your experiences with this classic piece of British history.